Hello people, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. This is Sorin and starting off from June, actually not June, sorry, January 5th all the way to February 5th, AMX 3105 is gonna be top of the tree, so it's the best time of the year to make a video, actually a line review. So we better jump off at tier 5 with the AMX LCBs. This vehicle used to be one of the best light tanks back in the day because it was the 100, was it a 90 millimeter or 120? Actually, no, it was a 90 meters. It was the one and only. It was this gun. But back in the day, back in the days, this tank, this gun, used to have 178 meters of pen and 240 something on its premium run. So it was quite dangerous because it was only obviously you could see tier rates with this, so you had to pretty much to defend yourself. But right now the vehicle is just forgotten by the world, and you still have the 90 meters that is nerfed to the ground. Really bad dispersion. You have only 30 degrees to the left and 30 degrees to the right, rotatable turret with this 90 meter. So I don't really recommend it. Even though you have better penetration, you have worse DPM and you don't have the rotatable turret as you do on the 75 millimeter. But on the 75 millimeter, it's just like you can defend yourself at the very best because I may actually have a 1400 DPM to boot, and the vehicle can fully rotate or can do 90 to the left and 90 to the right. I don't remember properly, but it's a tier 5. You just want to skip it. Actually, you don't really want to skip it because there are two lines, so you must play 50 battles into it. But what's really nice, 360 meters view range. What else do you have over here? 490 hit points. It's obviously light tank. You're quite fast with 26 horsepower per ton. Can go up to 60. You have concealment of a light tank, and with binoculars you can go up to over 445 meters easily. Because I have a bad crew, this is why it's only 438. Next, how is this vehicle? Well, I remember it when I played it. I remember it still being alrighty for a light tank. It doesn't have the DPM of something like on a Russian tank. Like what else is here? The 820. I remember the 820 having pretty decent DPM. Actually, no, I'm just nonsensing right now. But the IMX 12. This is where the fun really begins because now you actually have an auto loader, a 75mm auto loader to be exact. And right now we can actually dish out some proper damage. The stock gun, it's manageable. You have the same DPM, but you have 110 alpha damage. You have worse penetration on all rounds, but yeah, for a stock gun, it's not the worst. You can actually defend yourself versus tier 7s, versus tier 6, versus tier 5 and lower. But versus tier 8, yeah, you cannot really do anything with that stock gun. But with the top gun, you can load the gold for 202 and be effective. But once again, you don't have the best. Actually, this is where things are not looking good for this vehicle. That is the TPM. But when you can do, how much is it? 540 alpha damage in 7.5 seconds after the first shot. I mean, the intraclive reload is 2.5, which is a lot, but you have enough time to aim your shells. Yeah, you can stack up some damage. And on top of that, this vehicle has actually has some armor, 50 meters on your upper. Actually, I think it's only this plate over here. So HEs are gonna penetrate you easily. You have 6 degrees of gun depression, and this time a fully rotatable turret. 360 meters view range, I think, is the same as a tier 5. So you still want to use binoculars and vents to increase your DPM pretty much, or actually to lower your reload. And the third piece of equipment, it should be something like IRM or something that makes you sneaky, or like an exhaust system or anything that suits your playstyle. But it's either you wanna spot or you wanna do some damage. But overall, this is like first vehicle that worth keeping, and I remember it being a stat padder back in the days. I mean, like, I kind of want to start playing them again because my statistics, like, as you can see, in 150 battles, I was averaging 400 base experience, which is which is a bit low. And my damage record was actually 2000 damage. Can you believe that? I was a gamer back in the days. But jokes aside, I cannot really want to start playing auto loaders again. Next, tier 7 is the same story. It's a 75 millimeter, which let's actually say is the same. Yeah, it's actually the same gun on the tier 6. So you don't really need to unlock anything special rather than the tracks and the engine. Wait, do you share the engine with anything? By the looks of it, no. You actually share it with the same with tier 9 on your tier 6 actually. The tier 6 on unique. But with the tier 7, you start to get a bit more DPM than you do at the tier 5, and I think 50% it's a good step up. What else you have? It's also 8 degrees of gun depression, which is very flexible, but 9 degrees of gun elevation is rather lackluster. And does your intra-clip reload decrease? Yeah, it does. It does down to 2 seconds. So right now you actually can burst your shells. So I still recommend using either coded optics if you have a really good crew, or you can still play the sneaky binocular tactics in your bush. And equipment wise, as I mentioned, optics or binoculars with either exhaust system and something like improved rotation mechanism. So yeah, or vents if you are a vents player. Or maybe if you want to put the turbocharger in, because this vehicle can go only to 61, so it's not the fastest, it can go as fast as a medium, and the power to weight ratio it's only 20.51, which I think is on the top engine. I'm not really sure how it is counted, but yeah. Let me actually double check. Yeah, that's, oh no, that's actually on the, no, sorry, I was wrong. That's 26.68 on the top engine, which yeah, if you want to put a turbocharger in, go ahead. You're gonna go much quicker, but I don't think it really worth the point. And this is actually the first vehicle of this line that I managed to mark, and I actually enjoyed the mark in this vehicle because right now it's actually very double my experience from the vehicle previously. And I remember, yeah, this is actually the first vehicle that I managed to get a fade-in and dealing 3.4k damage in, and was it the fade-in? No, it's actually a scout. Where is my fade-in, man? I remember getting a fade-in in this. Where is my fade-in, World of Tanks? Or maybe I am... Oh, there it is. I was just dumb. But yeah, shenanigans aside, going back to the tier 8, and I still have the tier 8. This vehicle has, this time, a 75mm, the same as you do on the tier 5, the tier 6, tier 7, but your damage goes up to an amazingly 170. So right now, you can do 500, actually you can do 680 damage, but if you load the HEs, and if I find the Scorpion, pretty much can one clip them, which is very, very nice. What is not really nice is the DPM is still pretty much the same as the tier 7, so you only get much better penetration on your rounds, but the DPM is still kind of lackluster. But the vehicle is kind of easy, straightforward to fully research, and you're gonna get enough games and enough enough playstyle to actually master the Batchat 12T. Because you are gonna need 180, I think, on each vehicles. Actually 160 or actually 189, and by the looks of it, I don't say, but around 360,000 experience. So it's gonna be plenty enough games. Though what is not very beautiful about this vehicle, you get down back to 6 degrees of gun depression, but you get more elevation. So yeah, 6 degrees of gun depression is not gonna be the best on most of the maps, but you got 33 power to weight ratio, pretty much like 32 and a half, and you can go this time up to 68. Yeah, now this is what I'm talking about, and for whatever reason it's not going to show the base values of the view range and the concealment, so we have to I'll actually see it in garage, I think. Yeah, I actually have it in my garage, and it's actually equipped. So yeah, this is my desired server because I don't remember using vertical stabilizer on the tier 7, but on the tier 8 you can use vertical stabilizer, vents to lower your reload time, and optics, so you can get that 457 meters view range without the premium consumable, because those were the days where I was free to play. In terms of the performance on all of these line, obviously BS, concealment, still awareness, and recon are really important stuff. So yeah, actually, how fast did I manage to get 380,000 experience? Well, 57 games, because I used to have a premium and a lot of fragments. But yeah, now jumping to the tier 9. And actually, oh yeah, I didn't unlock the tier 9. That's why I only had this low amount of games. But yeah, jumping on the tier 9, you get as first gun the budget gun, but this time you actually get some DPM to boot and much better accuracy. But once you unlock the top gun with how much experience is that? 48,000. That's a lot of experience with 75 millimeter. So you want to use your X2, your X3 boosters. But other than that, can you equip? Probably you can. You can equip the top gun with the stock tracks. So yeah, once you equip the top gun, you have 240 alpha damage for shells, which means you can do pretty much 1,000 per clip, and you actually start to have better DPM of 1,940, which is really respectable for tier 9 gameplay. You actually get not a half bad aiming time. There are 4 shells in the magazine, but doesn't really show the intra-clip reload, which is weird. Actually, it's 2 seconds, so it's fine. Once again, you get only 6 degrees of vibration, so that's limiting. Actually, no, sorry, that's for the top gun, but you still get 6 degrees with the top gun as well. Only 130, that's very nice. And let's actually max it out. Let's put a tier 9 engine, and 380 meters view range. It's low, but once again, once you use the optics, the vents or vertical stabilizer or exhaust system, and with the crew that you manage to acquire through playing this line, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna go up to 450, but on some maps like Prohorka Malinovka, you can always put the commander's vision system. Also, it's worth mentioning you have 31.5 power to ratio. So yeah, those vehicles are quite nimble, they're quite fast, 64 km/h top speed, and 2.21 second intra-clip reload. So it should be enough to connect your shells quite easily, because it's a 90mm. You shouldn't have the worst dispersion, and 205 pen it should be enough to engage some vehicles. If not, you can load hit, I think is the premium runs on this, for 248, and maybe try to engage the side and the rear of the vehicles, because you're a sneaky tank. You can go around the enemy's line of fire and just dominate. But we managed to reach the top of the tree, and that is the one and only the AMX 13105, and as the name says, it's featuring a 105mm with actually not bad DPM for a autoloader vehicle, actually for an autoloader scout. And that is, you have 390 alpha damage divided by 3, 1170 damage per magazine. You reload the magazine 27 base, and you have a 2.73 intra-clip reload, the same as you do on the Batchat 25T. Yet your dispersion, your accuracy is very bad, and your aiming time is mediocre. So you want to hold your shells if you have the chance to. Like if it's really important to make secure a kill, then you can go ahead and dish out some damage. But other than that, it's better to scout than do damage. But with this vehicle, you can actually do damage, because obviously you have all the firepower in the world to defend yourself. But once again, we go back to 80 degrees of gun depression, which is very, very nice. And I forget to mention about the durability through this line. Yeah, you don't have any durability because you're alive, but who cares? If you don't get spotted, then no one is gonna fire at you. So there is no point of having hit points. But yeah, 238 meters of AP pen should be pretty low, but for a light tank it should be quite decent. And 280 hit, which should engage some armor. I mean, not mouse chicks or anything like that, but you can engage some heavy tanks. And we were mentioning that you have 68 top speed with a 37.5 horsepower per ton. So you're gonna be quite nimble. 390 meters view range is among the lower side in the scouts in this category. So in terms of what you want to pick in your what's this film mode, I keep forgetting them. You want to put valve tuning just to get yourself 70 km/h top speed, because obviously you have all power to weight ratio to help yourself. You want to put I will prefer the accuracy setup, because you want to make sure that you connect your shell and you count them in. Next, you wanna put probably want to put the lightweight spall protection, because let's say if the artillery is not gonna fire at you, like they cannot aim for you, there is not really point using it. So you want to put a 3 km/h reverse speed, so you can reverse out of the harm's way. Now, it's really dependable on your setup. If you're putting if you're dropping your if you're not using coded optics, then your view range is gonna be quite low. Though because this vehicle is I think it's bigger than a Manticore. I don't know. It's really up to you. Do you consider your view range? Does it need a bit of improvement? Then yes, I'll not really say that it's the best to trade your 2% concealment. This is a very difficult one. I will not pick any of them, but personally, I'll go for the no, I will not go for view range. I'll go for concealment, because it's more important to have concealment as a light tank. And last but not least, enemies behind foliage, because obviously most of the time you want to put yourself the command vision for some maps like Prohorovka, Malinovka, and so on and so forth. So yeah, let's actually equip it. Let's go back into our setup. Nothing here. Lightweight stuff over here. Aiming and speed, of course. And once you put all of your skill that you managed to secure to the tech tree, you have so many to pick from. And keep in mind, you have only 3 crew members, I think. So yeah, make your like your your crew count, because sometimes you might not want to pick like call for vegans or relaying or anything like that. But on this vehicle, intuition might be a very good skill. Snapshot, but things are gonna get way too overcrowded. So pick your skills, your perk effectively. On top of that, you can actually put firepower in if you want to do damage, or mobility if you wanna go faster than what this vehicle is supposed to. But yeah, coming back to this, you can actually always put the low exhaust system or commander's vision into this. You can always put. Apparently, you have no vertical stabilizer. Actually, you do have vertical stabilizer. Sorry. Or if you don't want to put vertical stabilizer in, you can always put the improved aiming to connect your shell, but it doesn't give you the most influence. And on top of that, I recommend always using a bounty exhaust system, and you're gonna have yourself like that with food. You should be able to get with optical thing. Actually, you don't have optics. With apparently, yeah, you can get up to 140 with this setup for the concealment. So yeah, there's not really the point of having CVS if you don't get up to 45. But yeah, with optics, then you have more than enough view range. So now you can actually switch for the concealment. So now you got for only 480, but you have all the concealment in all time. This was a very hard one to work it out, and actually with this you can go up to 49 concealment, which is nice. But yeah, this was top of the tree. This was a very difficult debate to your equipment on the 13105. So let me know, what do you think about the 13105 line? Is it a good light angle line because it got enough firepower to defend yourself, or you'll go for something that can fire single-shotly like a Renault Wagon, a Sherman, or a T100 LT? So thank you much for watching, guys. I will see you legends around.